The new face of heroin. Users are getting younger. The drug is getting cheaper and easier to find. Tonight, we go to the suburbs to show you the exploding heroin problem.
As we continue, you'll want to stay tuned for this story. Heroin use is growing. The users are getting younger, and the drugs are easier to find.
It hijacks them, completely hijacks these kids and turns them into zombies.
Pre-teens getting high for $5. Hear from an addict who says one hit changed his life when we come back. New tonight, this is the image many of us see when we're talking about heroin addicts in back alleys or city streets.
But tonight, 10 TV's Andy Hirsch shows us the surprising side of a drug that's infiltrating suburban central Ohio communities, with its users becoming younger and younger.
Michael Stetchison came from the right side of the tracks, raised with his sister by a single mom in affluent Upper Arlington.
It was just totally normal, pretty happy childhood.
At a young age, Michael showed interest in the arts.
I remember my mom getting frustrated with me. I would just be drawing all over my math textbooks and everything.
And his work landed him a scholarship to the Columbus College of Art and Design.
I thought, oh, this is great. I've done it. And he's at college, and he's got this scholarship, and he's so talented, and I'm so proud.
But just months out of high school, he threw it all away.
I didn't ever think I was going to be a heroin addict. Nobody...
The Drug Enforcement Administration says black tar heroin has exploded in central Ohio over the past few years, telling us it comes straight from Mexican drug cartels specifically targeting Columbus, in part because of its location and access to other parts of the Midwest. At about $5 or $10 a hit, it's inexpensive and easy to find, even in places you'd least expect.
We'd go to the suburbs to get it. Even when I was living downtown, we went to North Upper Arlington to get it.
A DEA agent sat with us in a suburban mall parking lot, watching what he says looks like a typical heroin deal in the works. After sitting for about 20 minutes, the buyer sometimes gets a message to move to a new location, often a gas station or pharmacy parking lot. It's not uncommon for drugs and money to exchange hands midday on neighborhood streets.
You have it in Dublin, you have it in Westerville, you have it in Worthington, you have it everywhere, and unfortunately the abusers that we see are younger and younger.
The Ohio Department of Alcohol and Drug Addiction Services has seen a steady rise in young people looking for help with their opiate addictions. In 2005, there were 56 people 19 and younger either living in or getting treatment in Franklin County. Last year, that number jumped to 162. Some are just 12 and 13 years old, and those are the ones on the state's radar.
Because I'm kind of a last resort guy. By the time you find me, parents know, look, we're in big trouble. We got to do something drastic.
The heroin addicts Dr. Andy Urkis typically helps are young and come from wealthy families looking to keep the problem private. Almost all of the kids he sees who are addicted to heroin got their start popping prescription pills.
It's a slippery slope. Kids are smart. They know what opiates are. They know what heroin is, and heroin's a lot cheaper.
Our kids are being poisoned by this stuff, and for some strange nonsensical reason they don't understand how dangerous it is.
Attorney Brad Koffel specializes in representing people with drug and alcohol problems for crimes tied to their addictions.
It hijacks them, completely hijacks these kids and turns them into zombies.
Well, an ice cream shop robbery prompted a lockdown at a local high school this afternoon.
And that's what his client, Michael Stetchison, says happened to him this year. Barely disguised using a fake gun, he held up 5 places in broad daylight, including a UA ice cream store and coffee shop. Stetchison tells us after manipulating friends, stealing from family members, and getting away with small-time crimes, he was out of money and out of heroin.
No thought went into it. It was just, what do I need to do to get high? There's money there, and money gets me heroin. That's basically all that went through my head. Yes, I do.
Police soon caught up with Michael.
Thank you, Judge.
And while his crimes are extreme, some in law enforcement estimate 80 to 90% of crime in their communities can be tied to heroin and pill addicts.
It's getting worse. There's no light at the end of the tunnel.
The advice from a recovering addict and his mother, know heroin is in your neighborhood and know that no one is immune from getting hooked.
There's kids at the high school right now taking heroin. Maybe some action can be taken so they don't end up in this kind of trouble.
In the suburbs of Columbus, Andy Hirsch, 10 TV News.
And after spending several months in out-of-state intensive treatment programs, Michael Stechison is behind bars here in Franklin County. His attorney will point to his treatment and recovery as a reason for a shorter sentence, but he is facing up to 25 years in prison.